All right, you guys, doing a starter today on a Nissan Altima with a 2.5 liter engine in it. Not really too bad of a job. Of course, I'm just going to diagnose to verify that we're getting a signal of 12 volts to the starter solenoid with my power probe. Then we're going to disconnect this battery, remove some of the stuff out the way, and get down there into the starter that lives so comfortably down there. But yeah, we'll get to it, show you guys how to do it. Stay tuned. I'll probably do a full-length video on this one. But yeah, not too bad of a job. Just make sure you disconnect that negative terminal on that battery before you start this. Besides that, oh yeah, this thing costs $300 and this is a reman. So imagine if you didn't get a reman or you got an OEM one. Just keep that in mind. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is just to verify if I'm getting 12 volts going straight down to the starter. 12 volt reference, which would be, just to give you guys an idea where I'm at, the starter sitting there like this, and my test light is touching this prong right here. This is where the 12 volt goes directly to the battery, and we're getting 12 volts. So we know at least at minimum, we're getting 12 volts to the starter from the battery directly. Next, I'm gonna test the signal wire, which is this terminal post right here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to put my test light attached to this terminal, something like this. I'll probably put this like that on that terminal, put this end on the other end of my test light, the pronged part. Let me show you guys. Put it on the tip of this. Let me just do it because you're not gonna be able to see it while it's in there. Something like that. So the starter that's in the car on the block itself, I'm gonna attach it something like this, and this other end just going straight to a negative post on the battery. And when I turn the key forward to the start position, I should be able to see this illuminate. If I see that illuminate, I know I'm getting a 12 volt signal. The signal's going to the starter, essentially. If that's the case, then that tells me that the starter is electrically working fine, but mechanically it is not doing its thing. So let me do that real quick, set that up. All right, you guys, so foot's on the brake. I'm going to attempt to start the car. Right now it's on the signal part of the solenoid on the back of the starter, and that light should illuminate if the starter is getting the 12 volt signal to start up. So as you see, that's me trying to start the car, nothing, right? Turn it back off, turn it back on, off, on. Okay, all right, so now that tells me that I'm getting 12 volts to the post here coming from the battery directly, and when I try to attempt to start the car from the key inside the car, that solenoid is getting 12 volts. So that's telling me this gap is bridging, and that starter is supposed to come out and start the vehicle. So I'm going to now proceed to disconnect this negative battery post and start taking the starter out. Nothing more than 2 bolts holding it in. Usually on most cars, just 2 bolts, and these 2 go that way. As you see, the starter sits like this in the car, so your 2 bolts are going to be coming from this way, and we'll get those out. A good rule of thumb, just for those that don't know, is when you take your battery terminal off, I always put like a rag or something right here, so that way the post doesn't, when I'm doing something, it doesn't just drop back down and touch this post right here, because then you'll have contact and you won't realize it, and you're getting shock or shorting something out. So take a little rag or something like that to where this makes that gap to where this can't come back down. But yeah, let's get this started. All right, got the old one out. Nissan starter. It's original from 2015. Got a reman here. Lifetime warranty on this one. But as you see, the starters are identical. Everything the same. So we're gonna throw this in there and call it a day. Once we get this in there, we'll put the battery supply back on and crank her on up. Might need a jump. I don't know how long it's been sitting out here, but possibly. So we'll get that done here in a second. All right, you guys, got the new starter installed. As you can see, right in there. It's kind of hard to get a good angle, but that's where it sits at. Just to give you an idea, We got the old one sitting right here. So now it's just a simple matter of putting the battery back in and connecting all the stuff I took unplugged, and we'll get this thing fired up. All right, you guys, just see if the proof is in the pudding and see if this thing starts set up. Already got the new starters installed. Moment of truth right here. Oh. See if he'll start with the key touching it. And as you see, we'll start it up just like that. Give it some RPM just so you can believe. As you see, RPM needle is moving. Car is definitely on. Let's take you outside to the front. See right there. So it was a starter on this Altima that needed to get replaced. But that's a given though, being that that was the original starter from the factory from 2015. So, I mean, the starter definitely well performed, well pals its life. So either way, we got to start it up again. And that's how you change out the starter on a 2016 Nissan Altima, 2.5 liter, so the 4-cylinder. Wasn't too bad. You needed 16 millimeter, you needed 10 millimeter, you needed an 8 millimeter, and a 12 to do this job complete. No other tools other than that. Now it helps if you have electric tools and things like that, but if you don't, you can do with those simple tools to do this job. Remember, disconnect your negative posts on your battery. If you're gonna take the battery out, obviously you don't have to worry about that. It's obvious coming off. But besides that, this is a job well done. Until next time.